welcome to the Reality TV Self-Help Podcast in the City Recap Edition, Episode 6. First of all, I'm just going to give myself a shout out because yesterday Yvonne started following me back on TikTok, so we're friends. Also, Kenny liked one of my posts, which was about how I think he doesn't like Amanda, because I did a close-up of his facial reactions while Amanda was going off on the trolley. Kenny doesn't like Amanda, essentially, or why would he have liked that? This episode, I was making a TikTok earlier today saying that Gavin is the biggest shit disturber on the show, and I hope he's getting paid for it. When we see the preview of next week, someone was actually saying he's the one that's being the pot stirrer. He's doing a really good job, and I think he actually has very high EQ, and I think he is I think he might be one of, if not the best, at reading people on the show, even though he has his unresolved issues and his own anger issues. I really like and I'm freaked out by their relationship because it's so combative in a sense, but you can tell there is a high level of brotherly love there. Miss Little Hypocrite Amanda is saying at the beginning of the episode that, oh, she's just so glad that she's in her new place and she doesn't have to deal with some man bringing people home at all hours of the night. We'll see if you and West ever live together, because he's already fucked other people since you guys decided you're into each other. So please, Amanda, please. It shows even with her dad, he doesn't hold her accountable. She cannot be honest and she cannot self-reflect. That is what comes up time and time again. So we already want to hate her. Even with Kenny, I've come at him. I think he does have some issues of lack of respect towards women in some ways, but I saw an interview with him on virtual reality this week. He takes accountability, so then that makes you like people more. Every time people take accountability, if it's done genuinely, it lessens the anger or whatever dislike we have for them, in my opinion. But Amanda doesn't do that. We see her in those beige tights and her scrawny little legs, and it's just, I'm a baby bird. I'm a victim. I am so fragile. It's humanizing seeing Kenny's dad apologize to him for the fact that they haven't been in contact for 25 years, which of course would build resentment. It's still very Kenny focused. We're not getting to see what if Whitney has shit she's going through. What's her family situation? What are Whitney's biggest challenges in life? Right now, she's really servicing Kenny, and that's one of the issues that I do have with him. But it was so sweet to see Kenny's dad being very honest, apologetic, and taking accountability as much as he can for saying, I'm so sorry we haven't seen each other. We see Danielle's mom come and visit her, and she's asking how is the divorce going, and I thought it was really interesting. Danielle is admitting she doesn't know if she's so bothered because of all this hate she's getting online as a supposed homewrecker, or is it her own issues inside herself. Confession, the last person I dated for 6 months, he was married. The first day I met him, he said they had already been living apart for 2.5 years, and within a few days of meeting him, I went and saw, okay, you live independently, and even he was showing me, an email. Of course, all this stuff could be falsified, but showing me an email from his wife, soon to be ex-wife, saying, I need your tax information, all this stuff. But guess what? It was insane. It was actually psychotic, and I did compromise my morals by dating someone who was still legally married. And honestly, he, more than any other person, made me feel like a mistress, because he was constantly triangulating us, putting me down in relation to his ex, talking about her like she's some perfect person, who showed me how low in so many ways my confidence is in terms of self-love. Today is actually 2 months no contact since he dumped me, but I'm very thankful that he did, even though I think the way he dumped me just treated with absolutely no respect, and that's really on me. And I will say I will never ever go through an experience like that again. So I am looking at what Danielle's going through with specific eyes. But congratulations, Danielle just had her baby Aiden this week. He was born 2.5 months prematurely, so he has to stay in the NICU for 2 to 3 months, but glad that her baby was born safely. Yeah, it was already a huge compromise to date someone who's legally married, even though he had been, again, living apart for over 2.5 years from his spouse. And I took a risk with someone who was also a father, and I will never ever do that again because it was so messy. It was crazy. It seems like with Danielle and Owen, from what he's explaining, he is really done, and they didn't get together when he was still technically in a romantic relationship with his ex. At first I didn't think that they would be compatible, but now I'm starting to see that they are. Then we see Yvonne is going to get married at City Hall to Nick. Nick has very kind eyes. My fear is he's too good to be true. That's my fear with any guy that seems really nice. But he seems like a very genuine, sweet person, and I love Yvonne as well. She seems like a total girl's girl. Love seeing her relationship with Lindsay. Also, she has an amazing ass, because they did film a shot of her in her dress from behind, and she's got some great curves, and we know she's pregnant right now, so that's very, very fun. Amanda's dad comes to see her new apartment. She's a liar. She's saying to her dad that it was a mutual decision for her to get her own place. No, it wasn't, Amanda. She is on camera telling things in so many different ways. You told Kyle on your anniversary dinner out that you're getting a place that has a year lease because you couldn't find a sublet with furniture that could let you have a dog. You said you don't have an opinion on this. I'm telling you what's happening. So then to your dad, you tell a completely different story. She just molds and tries to say exactly what she thinks someone wants to hear. She goes, I spearheaded it, but he agreed something had to change. Okay, well, he didn't want you to move out. She's complaining about Kyle partying. She says, I know I have my own things to work on. Then what are they, Amanda? What are they? Say them, because all you're doing is blaming Kyle for every issue in your relationship. She's saying, I'm going to start going out more if that's what he wants me to do. And then her dad said, you're going to go out with Kyle. No, I'm not. I'm going out without him. This girl needs serious help. Then we get to see the boys' convo, and Kenny says that him and Gavin are like high school girls because Gavin was wearing Kenny's pants. Kenny makes a dig, joking, saying he doesn't wear, miniature clothing or something, so he never borrows Gavin's clothes. They've been friends for 15 years. Gavin says to Kyle, when are you getting laid, bro? Gavin is doing the work of a producer in such a good way, and it's hilarious, and I love it. Now we know Kyle hadn't had sex for 4 years at that point, or almost 4 years then. But Kyle's saying he's working on it. Kenny says, I like Amanda. Very unconvincingly. Like I said, he liked a post where I'm talking about how I don't think he likes Amanda, so I don't think that's true. And Gavin is saying to Owen about his impending divorce, I don't want to ask too many questions, and Owen stands up for himself because I won't give you any answers. They're going, is it irreconcilable differences? Do you separate? How does this all work? And then Owen goes, yeah, sure. So I like him. He is standing his ground, and it gives me hope for him and Danielle. He's not just a total pushover. Also, Andrea sipping with his little straw looking side to side when things were getting really awkward. He's hilarious. Between Kenny and Gavin, the deeper cut issue because of their history and everything. Kenny starts saying, you're just so used to toxicity and craziness in relationships, and so that's why you're coming for me and Whitney. And he keeps going, and then finally Gavin goes, you guys are perfect, my bad. Kenny fights back. He goes, then fucking use your words, bitch. So Kenny's not always little Mr. Quiet. He can have a little Lindsay in him as well. And I thought it was funny hearing him say that. Then they're in the pharmacy, and Lindsay's saying that she got pregnant by doing a backwards bridge on the floor of her living room. I was trying to visualize that and how that would all work. Very complicated, but very funny. And then we see the seated snooper, some guy in his little motor scooter, some older man. They had his face blurred out, so he didn't want to be on TV, but he was kind of chiming in, and Lindsay's like, I can't focus. I'm too stressed out about this man. That's what's funny, especially filming in New York City where you see other random people interfering. Then we see Kenny with his dad. His dad comes up behind him, just gives him a big hug. It's really, really sweet. His dad says, I'm at peace now, even if you didn't want a relationship with me, just getting to meet you after this long and knowing you're okay, that gives me a sense of peace. Kenny wants to work on it, and he is showing insight. He's saying being able to fix this thing with his dad, because he has resentment, he has abandonment issues, he believes that this is going to help him be able to commit to Whitney, so I hope that's true. And then we see Amanda's place again. She has a bunch of shit already being piled up in her tub. I don't know why she can't let go of stuff and how she's mad. She is just so annoying how she's pissed off at Kyle. So you need me to get everything out of there. So you don't want me to be there. It's like, you're the one that moved out, Amanda. How are you spinning this back on Kyle? She is such a narcissist in so many ways. Kyle comes over to visit Amanda in her new place. It's really awkward. He brings her flowers. They almost go in for a kiss on the mouth. Then it turns into a kiss on the cheek. Amanda is wearing a Boys Lie sweatshirt. An oversized Boys Lie sweatshirt. Do with that what you will. Kyle says, the only thing I'm excited about is feel like I've got a home again. And we see people who are organizers there, and he's trying to figure out, what am I going to do with this? Amanda, you don't need that many clothes. You are a rich woman. Donate the stuff. Why? What a greedy woman this person is. She needs everybody else's dude, and she can't let go of anything. Oh, she keeps saying it's just a temporary move. It's a year lease. That is not temporary. That's a big deal. Kyle's saying, yeah, he did bring those two people over. It was a guy and a girl. He says one of them was a friend of a friend. She's saying they're fans. They're disagreeing about that. He says, I'm just the loneliest extrovert in the world. He's saying when you were leaving, I was having a call that could have been a $5 million check. So that's why that was kind of challenging. She goes, congratulations. And he's like, you just do not give a fuck. That's what shows me you don't want to build a future with me, because if you did, you wouldn't be saying stuff like that. And she goes, you've been acting out for 10 years. Well, so have you. Cheating. She said when she just married Kyle, she got a DM saying you've made out with somebody and there's a video. Show it to us. The producers go, and you didn't tell anybody? She goes, nope. I was just so embarrassed. Well, now we don't trust you, because she also said that there was some girl who was saying Kyle was really handsy. The girl was DMing Amanda while it's happening, but that also doesn't mean that's true. If you did see this video, as you claimed about that other intimate video that forced you to put the statement out, let us know where that's all coming from. Amanda sucks, as per usual, and it's hopeless between her and Kyle, and she's just one of those people who lives in denial, and we've all met them where you just eventually go, you never mean what you say, and I just gotta look at your actions. And some people are just so full of shit. The preview for next week is a little wedding dinner, I guess maybe for people who didn't go to Mexico, but it's all the In the City cast celebrating Nick and Yvonne getting officially married in the United States. Shit's about to hit the fan. Lindsay is losing her shit. Daniela's wearing a dress that is debatably pink or white. Gavin is getting freaked out on, and he's stirring stuff up. This looks so good, so I cannot wait for next Tuesday. If you've listened to this, thank you so much. Please follow me on TikTok, Reality TV Self-Help, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Follow me. Please give me a 5-star rating. Please give me a review. Share it with other people. Really, really appreciate you listening. And this show is so good. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.